Boom! What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Happy Saturday to you all, and welcome to another live beer review. Today we're going to be taking a look at another beer from a brand new brewery I've never tried before. These guys are called Evergreen Brewing. They're out of Pennsylvania, I believe. Where is it out of Pennsylvania again? Let's see, Camp Hill, Pennsylvania. We got one from their Sorbetto line, so I'm wondering if this is like a sorbet kind of sour line, but this is their Sorbetto number 46. It's a boysenberry, chocolate cookies, and marshmallow cream sour ale. What? That sounds absolutely amazing in my book, and it's just something what it looks like on Untapped and everything, and what I've been hearing about this one, it's definitely going to be something reminiscent to like some of those heavily fruited sours that you would get from like Drecker or some like 903 RIR. Who else? Let's see, 450 North, like thick, heavily fruited sours like that. Of course, when it comes to this kind of style of beer, there's always a couple recommendations I have for people that drink this kind of style of beer, just because you want to have an overall really good drinking experience. There's a couple things that you need to do specifically. First of all, if you buy it either at the brewery or a liquor store, bottle shop, whatever, you're going to want to make sure you bring it home and refrigerate it right away. Make sure it's refrigerated at all times, just because with the amount of fruit in there and all that kind of stuff, you want to make sure that it stays at a good enough temperature, doesn't cause any more fermentation in the can to where there's a CO2 buildup. And when you open that up, sometimes if there's too much CO2 built up in the can, that's when you're going to start seeing the overflow and kind of the mess that some fruited sours do make. And of course, what I always like to do as well, a lot of breweries actually recommend it, is when you're taking it out of the fridge, you're going to want to make sure that give it a couple rolls on the countertop back and forth, just to kind of get everything suspended in there, just because due to the puree and all that kind of stuff being heavier than the actual beer, it's going to start sitting at the bottom. So you're going to want to roll it, get everything suspended, get everything mixed up really well. And then one thing I like to do specifically is when I'm bringing it over to where I'm going to drink it, I like to hold it upside down, just like this. So everything that was on the bottom right there is going to start flowing through the whole entire can and get everything a nice even pour throughout. So, but I'm expecting some really, really nice berry flavors. I'm really curious what that chocolate cookie thing's going to do. Am I going to get really nice flavor of chocolate? Am I going to get the boysenberry, like tart berry flavors coming through? The marshmallows probably help add the creaminess. But I think this is going to be absolutely delicious. It comes out at a 6% ABV, so well in the realm of being a sessionable beer, in my opinion. So, and of course, if I didn't mention before, this does contain lactose. So if you're lactose intolerant, this might be giving you a couple issues later on in the day. But yeah, I'm pretty damn excited. Of course, I like to be a little cautious when it comes to opening these kind of style of beers. So right now I have a towel because I've had a couple mishaps every once in a while to where I open it and it starts foaming over and starts making a mess. But I make sure this time to have a towel down, so if it does do that, it's going to go onto the towel and not on the carpet in my bedrooms. So let's crack this thing open and see what we get on the nose with this guy. Give me a sec. There we go. Okay, doesn't look like there's going to be any kind of flow over, which is nice. Let's give this guy, see what it smells like. Oh, yeah, definitely a little bit lighter on the nose. Definitely getting like a tart berry kind of note. Definitely getting that almost like, it almost reminds me of like a jelly, kind of. So there's definitely like jelly. There's a breadiness coming through. Of course, that can be coming from the malts and like the berries and stuff. But yeah, it smells absolutely delicious. So I'm going to be drinking this out of my Whiskey Hill Brewing Company little stem glass this afternoon. So let's pour this thing and see what this thing looks like. Oh, look at the color on that. That looks wonderful. Not really a lot of carbonation. Let me give it a nice swirl really quick, see if I can get some other stuff. More of the thicker kind of pour coming through. Yeah, but this is definitely a little bit more of a thicker kind of pour. It's not your average kettle sour. But just look at the color of that. Almost has like a very, very deep purplish red kind of color to it. That just looks absolutely phenomenal in my opinion. Oh yeah, definitely getting more of the chocolate coming through now that I poured it. Berry notes still pretty damn predominant. And this smells absolutely delicious. Definitely has a different kind of berry kind of note to it that I'm used to tasting. A lot of times, so it's either, sometimes it'll be in a raspberry, blackberry, a little bit of black currant sometimes. But with it being boysenberry, I don't really think I've had a lot of beers when it comes to this kind of style that have had boysenberry in it. So I'm really curious to see what that boysenberry flavor is going to do. So let's give our first try of this guy and see what this thing's all about. So cheers, everybody. Happy Saturday. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that is... Definitely has a tartness. It kind of creeps up on you. So right up front, you get really, really nice berry flavors. But then, like, the more you have it in your mouth, the more the tartness starts coming through and through. The chocolate notes are definitely a little bit lighter than I thought. Definitely has a nice creamy mouthfeel, which is really, really nice. But the berries, the tart boysenberry flavor hits you right up front, which I think is what I was expecting. The chocolate definitely is in like the middle part. It kind of adds a little bit more of a sweetness, and then the marshmallow cream kind of situation I think is just there for mouthfeel, adding a little bit more of like a vanilla kind of sweetness to it. But I think this is pretty damn delicious. Very creamy, very berry in your face, nice tartness, and overall just pretty damn delicious if I say so myself. So Of course, if you can't get your hands on anything from Evergreen Brewing Company out of Pennsylvania, if you're not in the Camp Hill area, let's see what Untapped shows as some similar beers to this one, to where you may be able to suggest something on here that may have similar flavors to this. Of course, there's actually one from Dogfish Head. Dogfish Head's definitely a pretty well-known brewery, I would say, and this one's their Head Festina Peach 22, which looks like there's not a lot of, like, when it comes to like stuff on here when it comes to, there's not really a lot of check-ins rating or just anything like that, so that's interesting. I'm not really sure if I'm going to choose that one due to it being a Berliner Weiss, and this is definitely not a Berliner Weiss. Let's see what we else. We got one here from Cinderlands Brewing Company, which is their Comic Cabana, which is a tropical tart shake brewed with kiwi, mango, pineapple, guava, and Madagascar vanilla beans and milk sugar. So that's the lactose and stuff all right there. That's definitely going to be more on that kind of closer to a kettle sour. Not really going to add that one to it. There's another one from the Sorbetto line from Evergreen. Not really going to suggest that, because most likely if you're getting your hands on this one, you most likely won't be able to get your hands on that one as well. We got one here from Crystal Coast Brewing Company, and this one is their caked up pineapple upside down cake, but this one definitely looks like a kettle sour, so not really sure if I'm going to recommend that one. Let's see here. The last one we got, we've had some from Burley Oak Brewing Company before from their Jelly Nut Jam line, and that the Jelly Nut Jam line is they're more of their kettle sour. It's more of their tart ale, lactobacillus kind of fruited sour line, which I'm definitely not going to recommend that due to, I don't think this one has lactobacillus in there, just because when it comes to souring a beer, there's different ways to do it. There's the lactobacillus method, which is usually used for kettle sours, and then there's usually the other method when it comes to different ways to make the beer tart. So none of these ones on the similar beers list when it comes to what Untapped is showing is anything I'm going to really recommend for similar. Of course, if you're looking for something that has like desserty flavors and tart fruity flavors, of course Drecker, you guys are going to be talking about Drecker all the time. I'd probably put this more in the, let's see, the Slang de Jour is their pastry kind of thing. I wouldn't really get any pastry out of that. Probably their Chonk line, I would say, would be the most kind of similar style when it comes to anything from Drecker, just because it's like a Sunday kind of sour. So the Chonk line, anything from there is probably going to give you similar flavors. I wouldn't really consider anything from the Brains or like their Pert line, anything to be anywhere around this. Maybe that other sour line from Burley Oak may have some fruited stuff, maybe have a little bit more of a desserty kind of flavor to it. But overall, I think if you get something from the Drecker Chonk line, I think you're going to be able to find something through them that may give you similar flavors. Just do it being like a sundae, so you'll maybe get hits of chocolate, you'll maybe get marshmallow, you'll definitely get a fruit in there because all their fruited sours has a very, very predominant flavor of fruit in it. But overall, yeah, I think this one is absolutely delicious. Absolutely delicious. Love the tartness. Love how it's not too chocolatey, not too marshmallowy. Definitely letting the boysenberry speak for itself, which I think is really, really nice. Letting that kind of uncommon berry that you see in a fruited sour, just let it speak to you a little bit. So, yeah, this is very, very nice. So looking here back at Untapped, and of course they're showing some verified locations to where you could get some stuff from Evergreen Brewing Company when it comes to either anything from their Sorbetto series, because they've already done 46 variants of the Sorbetto series, which is really nice. Lets you know that they're coming out with a lot of different ideas when it comes to this kind of style of beer. So they have a bunch of different variants that they're going to probably be rotating through. But let's see what verified locations that are here on Untapped showing that they either sell this beer specifically or stuff from Evergreen Brewing. So we got one here called the Raftel Bottle and Smoke, which is in East Wenatchee, Washington, I think that is. Let me see, make sure that's Washington and not, yeah, I think that's Washington. So you got a place in Washington that carries that. We got the Latrobe Beer Warehouse in Latrobe, Pennsylvania. Of course, we got the North Shore Tavern in Pittsburgh that carries some of their stuff. We got the Mohan Restaurant and Grill in Pittsburgh. And then the last one we got here is the Antidote Tap House in Longview, Washington. So a lot of Washington couple of Washington availabilities, a lot of Pennsylvania. And then popular locations showing here is a little beer distributor in Johnstown. And then Chopper's Dungeon in Ashburn, Virginia, that is a popular location for this kind of style or anything from Evergreen. So yeah, like seeing that it's available on opposite ends of the country. I think that's really, really nice to see. Maybe there's some distribution coming up in like around Colorado too, to kind of get that middle of the country area kind of taken care of. But let's look here and see what the description of this beer says on Untapped, because we like to kind of just compare what they say this beer is all about with what we're tasting. So what it says right here is our sour ale series, this time is as a chocolate berry bomb with a hint of marshmallow, sure to please all the chocolate lovers out there, contains lactose. Yeah, I don't know if I would go with that description, because I don't think the chocolate flavors in this one is predominant enough to say like it will please every chocolate lover out there. I mean, you get chocolate flavors, don't get me wrong. You get that like kind of chocolate cookie kind of chocolatiness to it, like, but it's not to the point to where if somebody's not a fan of tart beers, that, oh, I want to get this just because there's going to be a good amount of chocolate in there. To me, the chocolate in this isn't predominant enough to where it would please every chocolate lover out there. If somebody's looking for a little bit more chocolate, like some chocolates that you would expect out of a stout, you're not going to get this with this beer at all. But the tart flavors are definitely there. Somebody maybe not like tartness, so this one is definitely going to still be on that tart kind of realm. With my tart threshold, I think I'd probably give it, close to 3.75 to a 4 on tartness. There's definitely still a predominant berry tartness coming from it. Not like a sour lactobacillus kind of tartness to it, but like a sour flavor, but definitely more of a berry tartness to it. But let's see here. I don't think there's anybody on my friends list who check this one in. No, it doesn't look like it. But let's see what other people are saying about this one before. Let's look at the average ratings and all this stuff. Like I said before, 6% ABV. So I would definitely consider this beer sessionable. It's probably going to be an easy drinker when it comes to having more than one of these. So you'll be able to drink more than one and be perfectly fine, most likely. And with over 1,049 ratings, this one has an average rating of 4.25 out of 5, which is pretty damn good. It definitely has a really, really high rating on this one. So like I stated before, there's nobody on my friends list who checked this one in before, so we don't know what their opinions are. But let's look here at the global rating and see what other people had to say. So this person gave it a full 4 out of 5. Didn't really give a reason why. Doesn't need to. This person gave it a 4.5. Looks like he drank it at a place called the Blue Room, which looks like is just a pub in Altona, Pennsylvania. Let's see. We got a 4.25 out of 5 at the Chopper's Dungeon, which is in Ashburn. It's a bar out there. Let's see. We got a 3.5 out of 5 here. Okay, this one's interesting. So this guy gave it a 4.25 out of 5, saying it smells like candles, strong in berries, and strong and sour. Which, what the hell? I don't understand what he means by candle smell. There's nothing about this that smells like candles to me. Nothing. To me, the chocolate is more on the nose than it is on the flavor. So, I agree with them on the strong berry flavor and the kind of like a little bit stronger on the tartness, but I don't see what he's talking about when it comes to candle smell. I don't know. But let's see. This guy gave it a 4 out of 5, saying raspberry velvet jammy, chocolate marshmallow thick, bring me the cherry black forest. So yeah, 4 out of 5, that's still pretty good. We got a 4.75 out of 5 here. So let's see, we got another 4 out of 5 saying amazing smell with a sour taste following by chocolate marshmallow afterbirth. Yeah, he might be getting a little bit more of the chocolate and the marshmallow at the end. I'm not really getting too much of it. To me, the chocolate part of it's more in the middle after that tartness starts washing away. This person gave it a 1.5, didn't even give a reason why. But, okay, this is the last one we're going to look at here. So, this last one is a 4.25 out of 5, purchased off Tavor, which is how I got mine. And what he said was boysenberry, chocolate cookies, and marshmallow cream, like a chocolate berry truffle in drink form. Pretty delicious and thick. Enjoy the taste, but might almost like the aroma more. Smells super good. To be honest, I think I'm going to agree with this guy. The aroma is definitely it misleads you of what the beer is going to taste like, because you get that chocolate very, very predominantly on the nose, but you don't really get a lot of it on the palate, which is very, very interesting. Because knowing that kind of chocolate cookie flavor is those aromas of it are hitting you right in the nose, and you barely get much of it when it comes to it hitting your tongue and being on your palate. I think it's just very, very interesting and kind of well rounds the overall experience when it comes to like you're smelling something. That's going to help kind of get some of the flavors in your palate already, and then you're kind of tasting it and getting a different kind of flavor altogether. So, yeah, ratings look pretty damn good on this one, I would say. There's a lot of pretty good ratings. That 1.5 rating was very, very interesting to see. I don't know why he would have put that, but oh well. But let's see here. With all that being said, let's start trying to figure out what we're going to be doing for ratings over here on our end with this guy. So let me pour a little bit more into the glass. And give it a good swirl, make sure everything's not sitting. Nice thick pour. Well, I'm going to be cutting it close. Am I going to get it? Ooh. Now that's definitely cutting it close. Let me do one more sip to make sure it's not going to spill on me. Oh yeah, that's good. But first thing we like to look at over here is can art, which the can art for this one, I think, from all the stuff that I've seen from the Sorbetto series from Evergreen, has got a very, very nice, unique can art to it. It's very almost abstract. So you have like the kind of like their logo down the bottom, and it's kind of branching off, of course, kind of making the bigger size of the Evergreen logo, and then bigger, and then you got to get the almost like Oreo cookies, marshmallows, boysenberries in the background. The Sorbetto thing, having that kind of holographic kind of lines coming through it, I think is really, really nice. And overall, very clean, very classy. Not really, it's letting you know what's in there, which I think is really, really nice. So they let you know there's boysenberry, there's marshmallow, there's the chocolate cream cookie kind of situation, Oreo aspect. So overall, I think the can art is really, really nice. Definitely is very, very, like almost modern, I guess you can say. Lets you know that there's the lactose in there, which is really nice. They take advantage of almost all the real estate on the can to kind of promote this beer. So the marketing on it, I think, is really, really well done. So for can art, I'll probably give it like a 4.25 out of 5. Pretty good. That's definitely something that would catch my attention if I saw it at a liquor store or bottle shop. But let's see here. If I got this beer in a flight over at Evergreen Brewing Company, would I get another one? Which, let's see here. Hold on. Let's go over to Evergreen's website. If you haven't been over to Evergreen's website, you could do that down in the description below. Let's see what they have on tap right now. So what it shows that they have on tap. Let's see if they have any other sours going right now. So let's see. Bunch of IPAs. So it doesn't look like any other sours are on tap right now, but they do have one of their. They actually have a couple of their one of their Sorbettos, which is their. Let's see. So they have their Sorbetto number 49, which is a sour ale aged on sweet cherries, sweet and sour cherries, Madagascar vanilla beans, creamy white chocolate, and pistachios. So they have that one available, and then they have another smoothie / pastry sour one, which is their drippity guava passion fruit banana citrus, which is a sour ale that they cold conditioned with creamy non-dairy soft vanilla soft serve, guava, passion fruit, banana, and citrus fruits for your tropical dreams. So that's really cool that they did non-dairy vanilla soft serve. So that's very interesting in that. So you got 2 different pastry sours available to go, or doing can pours over at the brewery, so you can do it to go, or they can probably do a can pour for you and you can still try it there. But yeah, when it comes to stuff they have on tap right now, there's a lot of IPAs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 IPAs going right now. When it comes from like your normal New England hazies to your American West Coast IPAs to your Imperial Doubles hazies. So they have a bunch of different IPAs on hand right now, to where if you're a hophead like me, you'll be very, very happy with what they have available right there. And then, of course, with their can pours, the Sorbetto is the one that they have doing a can pour out of, so you can get their Sorbetto number 49 over at the tap room right now. And plus, it looks like they have some food over there. Their food menu looks pretty legit. So when it comes to like maybe like if you want to go over there tomorrow, they have a Sunday brunch menu, doing brunch bowls, cocktails, all that kind of stuff, sandwiches. But yeah, their food menu looks pretty awesome. So being able to get some good quality food while you're getting some nice beer, I think is always a really, really nice touch. So if I got this beer over at in a flight at Evergreen Brewing Company, would I get another one? Yeah, most likely. I would say I would. Definitely. It just throws me through a loop that you get so much of the chocolate on the nose and then really not much of it on when you finally taste it, I think is very, very interesting when it comes to that aspect of it. But overall, the berry flavors are nice, vibrant, tart, juicy. It definitely has a jammy kind of aspect to it. But of course, the chocolate is fantastic on the aromas. The amount of like chocolate cookie aroma that you get from when you smell it is outstanding. Probably one of the better smelling beers I've had in a long time. And so, yeah, I'd probably get another one. I don't know if it'd be to the point where I get a 4-pack of it to bring home, but I would definitely get another one of these on its own just to kind of enjoy that way. But let's see here. What is my final rating on this guy going to be? I'm going to give it a very, very solid 8.5 out of 10. Really, really delicious. If you're over near where Evergreen Brewing Company is and you want to try some of their sours, want to try some of their IPAs, go ahead and do so, because my first experience from these guys being this one from the Sorbetto line is definitely an experience that is really, really well enjoyed. So if you want to try some of the other stuff, I would definitely recommend it. Of course, you can always go down to their website. You could do their beer finder thing to where you could possibly find some of their beer near you. So maybe if you're more interested in their IPAs or anything like that, you can go ahead and do so. But other than that, yeah, very, very delicious one. Big shout outs to Evergreen Brewing Company for coming out with this one. It's pretty damn delicious. So I would love to try some more stuff from the Sorbetto line. But let's see here. Other than that, I think that's pretty much what I have for you guys today. So thank you everybody in chat for hanging out. You guys are awesome. If you haven't yet, please hit that like button. It would help me out a lot. Also, if you're new to the channel and like what you see, make sure to hit that subscribe button as well, along with that notification bell. It'll let you know whenever I go live do another review. And plus, you could give me a follow on all my other social media platforms that I'm on. You can shoot me a follow on my Instagram, where you'll see daily hand checks whenever I'm doing reviews. Plus, you'll see some of the shenanigans that I have going on over at the brewery. See if we're doing stuff over at Fibs when it comes to either making new beers, brewing, or just cleaning kegs, doing all kinds of other shit, transferring beers over. I try to let people kind of see a behind-the-scenes look of what goes on behind the scenes there. But just overall fun time. So if you shoot me a follow on my Instagram, you'll be able to see all that kind of stuff. Of course, you could shoot me a friend request on Untapped itself. You guys hear me talk about Untapped all the time. I think it's an absolutely fantastic platform when it comes to any kind of craft beer fan. I like to call it Facebook for beer drinkers. That's what it's like pretty much. You get to check in beers, get badges, all that kind of stuff. It's just what they do over on Untapped is just create a really, really cool platform that is easy to use and anybody can enjoy it. There's so many different options for things that you can gain off of that app. I think it's just everybody that enjoys crafty beer should get on Untapped and just see what they have to offer over there, because it's really, really cool. Well, last but not least, if you want to possibly find some stuff from Evergreen, if you're not in the area where they usually show up, I'm always going to suggest Tavour to be an option, because I've seen Evergreen, because that's where I purchased this one. This Evergreen beers do show up on Tavour. So if you have Tavour, you can kind of follow Evergreen Brewing Company. If you are on the app and you see one drop, you can get it into like your monthly box, or you can even do a subscription box kind of situation where they'll send you random beers. And who knows, this one from one of these ones from Evergreen might show up in your box one day. But Tavour is always another option to get some beers that you normally can't get your hands on. And let's see, last but not least, if you want to, the main way I'm going to tell you guys to support me, besides following on my social media and kind of following the YouTube and all that stuff, is make sure to get yourself over to my Patreon. That's going to be the best way to support me doing what I do, because I do monthly 4-pack giveaways of Illinois exclusive craft beer over there. That's going to help me get more beer in my hands and help me get more beer out to you guys as well if you join the Patreon. I'm planning on doing some other stuff once it starts to get the ball moving on it a little bit more. Maybe get a Discord started with all that kind of stuff, doing that. Of course, planning eventually with merch, glassware, coasters, koozies, all that kind of stuff. I have a bunch of stuff planned for the Patreon, so if you want to take advantage of all the stuff that I have going in the noggin when it comes to ideas and different things that you can help support me with and I can give back to you guys as well, the Patreon is going to be the best way to do it. So the link to that is down in the description below as well. But other than that, that is what I have for you guys today, ladies and gentlemen. So again, thank you everybody in chat for hanging out. You guys are awesome. Thank you everybody who's going to be watching on the replay as well. You guys are amazing. And I'm going to end this like I always do before we get the hell out of here. If you're going to drink responsibly. Don't drink and drive. And I'll see y'all next time. Cheers.